Keean Bexte for Rebel News, standing outside of the Calgary Court Centre with a story that you're probably not going to believe, or maybe you will, depending on what sort of news you watch and how much you understand of the state of the world these days. I'm here today on the case of two Calgary area men, as the Calgary Herald puts it and other mainstream media outlets. Their names are Jamal Borhat and Hussein Borhat, and wouldn't you know it, these two Calgary area men just happen to be accused of assisting and aiding the Islamic State in Syria. Yeah, they traveled to Syria, allegedly, in 2013 to assist that terrorist group, and then they came back to Calgary, and they're living their lives. Now, you might think, how could two accused terrorists be living their lives in Calgary? Well, let me tell you, the judge, and I want to name her here because judges aren't held accountable in our country as I think they should be. Judge Catherine Skeen is her name. She agreed with the defense lawyer of the Borhats, saying that, yeah, they should get bail. Why not? It would be an undue oppression of their liberties for them to be thrown in jail while they're pending trial, which, by the way, the official news today is that their bail was just extended. Now, you won't hear that from any other news outlet, literally none in Canada or across the world, because I was the only reporter there tuned in today. I was the only one there interested in the case of these two accused Islamic State terrorists, if you can believe it. Now, of course, there's very strict conditions on their bail, if you weren't aware of this story already. The strict conditions being there's a $30,000 surety on their head. So if they break the law or, blow up a building or hijack a plane, it'll cost them $30,000. Boo-hoo for them, right? They'll also have to wear an ankle bracelet, if you can believe it. The Calgary Herald calls this strict conditions. Now, strict conditions, in my opinion, for an accused Islamic State terrorist, two of them, would be throwing them in jail, in maximum security jail, just like the government did to Pastor James Coates, even though he didn't deserve it, obviously. He's been released now, but he had to spend 35 days in maximum security prison. That was a Christian pastor. But when it comes to Islamic terrorists, accused Islamic terrorists, they just get to walk free. They get to go to Banff or Lake Louise and take it easy while they're waiting for their judge and jury to be elected. They get to live their lives after, allegedly, assisting the Islamic State. Now, I just want to ask you, do you think that anything that Pastor James Coates possibly did could have been in the realm of danger to society and the world as what these two are accused of? No, they're not even in the same order of magnitude. But for some reason, one punishment has already been worse than the other. 35 days in maximum security prison for Pastor James Coates, but for these two accused Islamic State terrorists, they are walking free. I'm going to give his lawyer a call and see if I can ask some questions, the lawyer of the Islamic State terrorists, the accused ones, and see what they have to say about why he thinks they deserve bail when Christian pastors are being locked up for 35 days at maximum security prison. I'm going to call him right now and see what he has to say. Actually, before I call them, I need to ask a favor of you. Yeah, you watching this right now. There was no other reporter in that courtroom with me. No one listening on WebEx, online, nothing. I'm the only one with the story, and I'm the only one that will tell it to you. Because even if they were there, they would twist the narrative and make the terrorists, the accused terrorists, seem like the unlucky ones. But we need to keep telling this story to you. We need to share the other side of the story with you and everyone else. But YouTube is trying to censor us. If you go to afteryoutube.com, you can see our plan for when YouTube finally tries to chop Rebel News' head off. If you go to afteryoutube.com, check it out. You can see exactly what we're trying to do, how we're going to stay in contact with you after YouTube tries to end the company once and for all. Check that out. I'm going to go call these lawyers now.
David Chow speaking.
Hi, David Chow. My name's Keean Bexte. I'm a reporter with Rebel News. Are you the lawyer on file for the Jamal Borhat case?
I couldn't comment, sir, as to whether I'm counsel for a client or not. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was just curious if you could explain why there was a publication ban or why you sought a publication ban on the case.
Honestly, sir, I don't have any instructions. Number one, to speak about any case with the media right now, and I mean any case. So I couldn't make any. I couldn't make any representations at this time.
Sure. Would I be able to give you my contact info so you could reach back to me?
Sure.
So right as I got back to my studio, I learned that there was a publication ban on parts of this story, which is why I asked that lawyer that question. Why was there a publication ban on this in the first place? It was granted by the same judge that gave bail to two accused ISIS terrorists. No, I've heard of publication bans being put on cases involving delinquent children, kids who break the law. Usually you can't publish their names. I've heard of the same thing when it involves a child as the victim. We don't want to publish the name of someone that could ruin their life in the future. But I've never heard of a publication ban being put on a terrorism trial in Canada. Never heard of it, not in my life. And when I reached out to the lawyer to ask just basic questions about it, why is there a publication ban on this case? Nothing. He says he'll get back to me, and I'll let you know if he does. Right now, I'm not holding out much hope. For Rebel News in Calgary, Alberta, I'm Keean Bexte.
Thanks so much for tuning into our coverage here at Rebel News. Like I said, YouTube is trying to censor us, whether you're watching us there right now or whether you're watching us on Rumble, which we're putting all of our videos on now. Go to afteryoutube.com to make sure that we can stay in touch after YouTube finally swings that ban hammer.